Okay, honestly, who does these stupid fake intros anymore? Let's cut right to the chase.
Good plan.
Metal Gear Solid 3. As if this game isn't already bathing in fame, it makes it into both of our personal top 10 favorite games of all time lists. It's got something for everybody: stealth, action, adventure, emotion, music, and, as is the case with Metal Gear Solid, several awesome bosses.
And to pay homage to the bosses, Julie and I have teamed up to talk about them. But not just any boss from the game, more specifically the Cobra Unit, a group of 6 elite Russian soldiers that Snake has to take down one by one throughout the course of the game. These guys don't mess around, and the majority of them make for great and memorable boss fights.
We will be talking about all 6 of the Cobras, working from our least favorite to our favorite of the bunch. This list was not easy to make, even if our thoughts on them are mostly the same, so please respect our choices. They are our opinions, and it's very unlikely they will be the same as yours, so let's not waste any more time.
It's showtime. You should have seen this coming a mile away. The fear is most easily summed up by the word annoying. Notice the spider soldier. He has inhuman speed, a long forked tongue, can dislocate his arms at will, and can walk on water. Yeah, that's bad news for you.
But what is worse is that he has a stealth camo and can turn completely invisible at will. And when you give that to a guy who can leap from tree branch to tree branch like a monkey, you've got yourself a recipe for disaster.
Fighting the fear is either ball-wrenchingly hard or pathetically easy. You could try to shoot him whenever you can see him, or you could use thermal goggles to see where he is at all times. You could try to tranquilize him and prevent him from getting food to get his stamina back, or you could feed him rotten food and make him lose it just like that. You could shoot him when he's on the ground, moving faster than Sonic, or you could fake your own death and pump him full of AK-47 bullets.
The fear isn't even the only thing you will have to worry about in this fight. Traps are rigged all over the arena, 3 wires that, if set off, will shove a giant spiky club right in your face, holes in the ground that kill you instantly. Hell, there's a little swamp that will actually kill you using too deep into it. But the fight itself isn't the only annoying thing about him. His voice is intolerable, and it doesn't help that he never stops talking. Now, say it with us.
The fear!
He doesn't even have much personality or backstory. The music is good, the atmosphere is good, everything else is just a terrible blend. But don't worry, it gets better from here.
I am the fear. I am the pain.
You know which Cobra had the best concept? The Pain. While the other Cobras are mostly people you at least half expect to see on the battlefield, the Pain is a sadistic commando beekeeper.
It may sound silly at first, but the more you think about it, the more awesome it gets. The Pain is one of the best designed and thought out Cobras. He's somehow able to control a huge swarm of hornets at will, covers himself with them to form a sort of body armor, and commands them to attack you.
On his belt he has a pouch that contains a queen bee, whose buzzing he uses to help guide the hornets, along with his dancing before and during the fight, because of how bees and hornets communicate by dancing. He also has several vials of pheromone that he throws onto you to get the hornets to sting you, breeds a flesh-eating bullet bee inside his own body, and is equipped with a Tommy gun and grenades that his hornets help him handle.
This is awesome, and so imaginative. It's one of the best setups you could possibly have for a boss battle, but it's not quite handled right. The Pain just stands there the whole fight and makes himself a really easy target. He's the easiest boss in the game, but despite this, the fight is still kind of annoying because the pain can get cheap hits on you with grenades from time to time because of how long it takes Snake to get up onto a platform, and you have to swim in this boss fight.
And what's so bad about that?
Water and video games don't mix.
I am the fear.
I am the end.
So, there's this one member of the Cobra unit that's become known as one of the greatest bosses in any video game ever. He's the perfect test of Metal Gear Solid 3 stealth and game elements, and one of the most creative bosses in any video game. And yeah, we agreed that the end is an amazing boss, but the greatest boss fight of all time? We don't think so.
Nothing against the old man, he is truly one of the game's most notable moments, but we feel like he's just a bit overrated. Born in the 1860s, the end is over a century old, and all modern sniping techniques originated from him. He's the father and the master of sniping, and it's very likely the end will take you a good deal of time to beat. How do you beat him? Well, that's the thing.
There is not one way you can defeat the end. This fight is famous for being what you make it. Almost all of your tools are at least some use to you, and there are truckloads of different ways you can beat this guy. That's a big contributing factor to his fame, but the thing is that you can say the same about almost all of the bosses in this game. It's just more prominent with the end, so he gets all the credit.
The end isn't actually able to kill you. He's equipped with a rifle that shoots tranquilizer darts and some stun grenades. He doesn't kill you lethally, instead he drains your stamina, and he does so quite efficiently. He's out there hiding somewhere in the forest, tranquilizing the hell out of you, and you have to find him and take him out.
As for the end himself, he's got some interesting motivation, but not much of a backstory or personality. His creative, if a bit overrated fight, and his iconic status is what put him at number 4.
I am the fear.
I am the sorrow.
A recurring trend you may have been able to see on this list is that the Cobras lack backstories. Thankfully, this isn't entirely true. One such case is the Sorrow.
The Sorrow is one of the more interesting Cobras. He was the boss's lover and participated with her in the Allies' attack on Normandy in World War II. The problem, the boss was pregnant. After the child was born, the philosophers threatened to take the child away if the boss and the Sorrow both survived, and the Sorrow, at his own command, was shot and killed.
If you haven't played this game, you may be thinking, well, if you don't even fight him, why the fuck is he on the list at all? Well, you do fight him, and it's creepy. You've just gotten tortured, lost an eye and all of your equipment, and jumped off of a who knows how high ledge. You drift upstream and end up in a strange stream, and then you are greeted by the Sorrow as a ghost.
Psycho Mantis gets all the credit for being the Metal Gear Solid series' defining disturbing boss, but those people obviously haven't seen the Sorrow. The boss fight with the Sorrow has you wading through the stream while the Sorrow shows you the mangled spirits of everyone you've killed in the game up until that point. Touching those spirits will hurt you, so the more people you've killed, the harder the fight is. The Sorrow only has one attack, which is some weird swirly laser thing. If it hits you, it'll deal out some damage, and a jump scare.
If you try to contact somebody via radio in this fight, they will act like you have died and scream Snake's codename. If you save during this fight, the location is referred to as ? And when you get to the end of the river, the Sorrow turns into a skeleton and touching it supposedly kills you. But then you use a revival pill to bring yourself back and the fight ends.
Major Zero oddly says that Snake was floating at the bottom of a river, half drowned. This seems to imply that the fight was some sort of an illusion, an otherworldly experience that only Snake could see. Maybe he went crazy? Was it a mirage? The whole strange, subtly freaky nature of this fight is one of the major reasons it's earned itself the number 3 spot. Alright, I managed to get through that without making an Is the Sorrow Gone joke. Yeah.
I am the fear.
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful?
The boss, Snake's former mentor, the heavily built-up final boss of the game, and one of the most emotionally intense moments in video games. We've already explained the relationship between her and the Sorrow, but the relationship between her and Snake is something far different.
Metal Gear Solid 3's plot is quite complicated. The boss fakes defecting to the Soviet Union to retrieve the Philosopher's legacy from Colonel Volgin, a sum of $100 billion made by the three great powers during the two world wars. However, there is a complication. Volgin nukes a Russian warehouse, while in an American helicopter with the boss. As a result, Snake now has to kill his former mentor in order to prove America's innocence and prevent a nuclear war. It's powerful stuff.
The fight with the boss is built up throughout the almost entire game using the occasional encounters with her. At first, the boss can kick Snake's ass quite easily, but as the game progresses, Snake gets stronger and more fit to overpower the boss. This culminates in an intense final battle, where Snake and the boss are almost perfectly matched.
Snake and the boss fight each other in a field of white flowers. The boss uses CQC and a Patriot, a machine pistol with infinite ammo. She runs around the battlefield, camouflaged to match the flowers, and can actually be very difficult to find. However, so can you. This is a fight of equals, but is it absolutely 100% flawless? No, it's not.
This boss fight can get annoying. The boss could take you a full minute to find. The game doesn't tell you how to win against her with CQC, and you really can't figure it out on your own that easily. She spams her Patriot, and worst of all, you are on a time limit.
This is personally the only point in the game that I use the motion sensor.
But despite these flaws, the boss has held up as one of the game's standout moments. The fight is fair, intense, emotional, and the best way to end this game. However, there is one Cobra that we prefer.
I am the Fury!
So far, all the Cobras have all combined some good traits and some bad ones, but our favorite of the bunch is one that combines all the good ones and leaves anything that could potentially hinder him to cry in a corner. The Fury.
There's everything to love about the Fury. To start, he's one of the only Cobras to have an established backstory. Thank God, and it's very, very cool. He was an astronaut sent to the moon during the space race, but because of a malfunction on his way back, he was burned when coming into Earth's atmosphere. It destroyed all of his nerves, making him unable to feel pain, and all he saw was the world on fire.
This spawned his codename and his weapon of choice. He uses a flamethrower and a jetpack, and darts around the underground tunnel in which he's fought, spewing flames at Snake whenever he can. It's almost pitch black and only lit up when the Fury fires his fires. This fight is very fun, and at the same time maintains a fair difficulty level. It's a hard battle, but it's a fair one.
The fight is also an all-you-can-atmosphere buffet. As established before, it's almost pitch black until the Fury uses his flamethrower. This generates a lot of suspense because his flames stay burning for a long time after they're lit. One false step and, well, there goes another bandage and ointment. And of course, the music is one of the best themes in the game.
Even the resolution of the fight is satisfying, as the Fury gives a strangely poetic speech about how the boss is the only one left, and that this is the end of the Cobras. So, at the end of the day, the Fury, while a strange choice for our number one, is at a spot that we feel he deserves. He has established backstory, interesting personality, awesome concept, and fun, fair, atmospheric battle, and a great musical team to boot. I am Obsidious Fan,
And I'm the Black Rose.
and remember,
Let your anger grow.
Wait a moment, we forgot about one of the most important members of the Cobra Unit, the ladder! Fuck it, forget this joke.